broad and probably covers much more than she can do in the summer. But for us to work on moving forward, I wasn't sure what the Board of Supervisors needed. I know they need a resolution. So I provided both of those documents, which I'm happy to share. I'll put them on the screen and I'll email them around for comment. I styled the resolution as more generally saying we seek authorization as a task force to retain volunteers and unpaid interns. Not specifically for this position, and I'm hoping that's okay, and that works with the legal department and HR, so that we don't have to go back to them if there are other volunteers that want to work with us in the future. And we'll see what they say. So that's kind of what we have. Tishri, you want to add something there?
I just wanted to make a suggestion, since the county attorney has not had a chance to read the proposed resolution, that if and when we as a task force make a motion today, that we move the resolution with a caveat that we approve any changes that the county attorney needs to make, if it does need to name her specifically or anything else, so that we don't have to come back again tomorrow as a task force. So I would just ask that the wording of the motion, if we do decide to move the resolution, also include language that we also approve any changes that might need to be made by the county attorney before it goes to county government.
Okay, that's great. We have 9 people, so before someone loses their internet connection, let's do our best to get this signed, sealed, and delivered.
David, before we go on, sorry, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Steve.
I would just add to that, Alejandra has to get this approved by her advisors in Cornell as well. So there may be some back and forth as well, in addition, in the future.
Sure, and this is not a done deal. I mean, we're scrambling to try to take advantage of something that may or may not happen. We're going to do our best, and that's all we can do. And this will allow us to move forward in the future as well, in both understanding the process for bringing on interns like this, and also doing it in a more methodical and kind of timely fashion, so we're not scrambling. Can I share my screen? I'd like to just put up this resolution. It's pretty simple, and then we can vote on it, and we can add the qualifying language that Tistria suggested. While I do that, maybe if there's any discussion or questions, please speak up. I'll try to present. Let's see. Let's see if I can get, yeah. Okay. What do y'all see here?
You.
Presenting. Do you just see me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you see no, this is something else. You see a Word doc?
Yeah, now it's there.
All right, that's the job description that we're not looking at today. That is for the full-time position. This scope of work resolution. Can everyone see?
Yes.
So it just reads, whereas Smart Communities Program, whereas the board has appointed a Climate Smart task force of volunteers to serve as the central body to promote and support climate mitigation, adaptation, and education in the county, and to advise the county government on undertaking plans, programs, and activities that are part of the CSC program. And whereas the task force has opportunities to retain volunteers and unpaid interns to assist with conducting the work of the task force to the benefit of the Columbia counties. Should change that. I'm sure that will get changed. Climate Smart initiatives. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved, Columbia County, the county task force is authorized to retain volunteers and unpaid interns to support the work of the task force. The task force shall adhere to all legal and human resources requirements, and the resolution will take effect immediately. So that is the resolution. Not very exciting. Hopefully that is compliant. And then I can also share the scope of work briefly, but we'll have more time to deal with this. So I
Hey.
can pause.
David, may I make one suggestion? I'm sorry, I know this means you'll have to resend it to Patrice after it's adopted.
That's why
One of the
we need
one of the questions the chairman had was who's going to oversee the intern. So I would add some language on therefore be it resolved that all volunteers and unpaid interns will be directly overseen by the task force.
I'll correct this later, but I'm just putting it in now as a placeholder.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Hey, David, it's Cara. I know you mentioned that we're using general language around future interns, unpaid interns, et cetera. I'm driving, so I can't read the screen, but are we mentioning Alejandro, like this particular instance as an example of kind of the urgency around this request?
We're not. I didn't put it in the resolution. That's a draft. I mean, they will make changes as necessary. I didn't put it in there because I wanted to have something more kind of open-ended and broader that would give us this, if possible, give us this authorization, so that when there's another opportunity, when there's no funding involved, we don't need to come back to the board. I don't know whether they'll be okay with that. I hope they are. So that's why it doesn't specify anyone individually.
And the group that's meeting prior to the Board of Supervisors meeting, who will be presenting this resolution?
I don't know exactly. It's the government committee. I don't, Tistria, is that you? I don't know who will actually present this.
I'm not on county government, so either David, you will be invited to present, or I will be there as a non-member of that committee to present.
I'll be available if needed.
Yeah. And I've already reached out to some of the members on that committee to let them know, what it is and what it's about.
Great. Has
Is
anyone
Brenda on that committee?
Oh, sorry. Go
Is
ahead.
Brenda Adams on that committee, Tistria?
Yeah, Brenda and I think Jeannie Metler both.
Good.
Has anyone had a chance to speak to Supervisor Knott? I have not.
No.
Okay. So I can try to reach him tomorrow and see if he has any questions or concerns that we can address. I assume that he'll work with Patrice on the language. And if he has any questions, he'll bring it back to us, but I'll reach out to him. I can briefly just give you and then we'll vote and we'll wrap it up. But can everyone see this? Scope of work?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
Maybe. Okay, great. So this is the kind of thing we'll develop as a group, and we can do this. We can. I'll send it around before our next meeting, and people can comment on it. But this is kind of the general what at least I'm thinking at this point, and it does specify that this person will be overseen by me and Steve, who has experience working with these public policy school interns. And I put Tistria there because it would be great if she has the time, but it's not necessary, obviously. And I don't think we need more people listed, but the more people that want to be involved in any of this work, the better, and especially in framing the scope of work. But it focuses on things that seem to be ripe right now for us, and where we can get some early wins and make some good progress where there's synergies with ongoing or existing work. And then it's also looking at, just kind of helping us organize ourselves in the county among our, collaborators at different aligned bodies. And also, perhaps if there's time, start doing some more research into funding opportunities specifically where they are, what agencies they reside at or what organizations, and what the timelines are and what the requirements are, that type of thing. We don't have to have a discussion around this now. I just want to share this because we're doing this, for this purpose.
Before you distribute it, I might just add an item, which is to help the committee identify the most impactful use of our resources. That is, for instance, I'm not familiar enough with county government to even know how many buildings there are or how old they are. So is that a place we should be looking to make those buildings more energy efficient? Does the county have a huge fleet of vehicles? Should we be looking to help the county transition to electronic vehicles? Do they lease streetlights? How many? I mean, maybe that's somewhere we should focus to so that they can transition to LED lighting in the streetlights. So maybe there are those on the committee who already know that stuff, but probably there's like myself, others who don't. And so you might want to just add something that might be a task for her to help identify impactful actions that we should focus on.
Yeah, I mean, I think between those are all good suggestions. Thanks. I think between the work we're doing at the next meeting and leading up to it, which is where we're going through the actions and we're looking for questions and answers as to what we want to focus on as a group, that will help inform the scope of work for the intern. And I also think there are already areas where there are projects happening, initiatives happening. For example, I know Supervisor Knott is working on an EV charging station, or at least would like to, in Hudson. We talked about that. He's already worked on an energy efficiency project, which we need to, and is collecting information on it. Some of the things that we spoke about at the last meeting, I think are the kind of low-hanging fruit. We talked about a solar campaign under the Clean Energy Program, energy benchmarking, and I think your questions about how many buildings and what is the state of efficiency of those buildings, what's the vehicle fleet look like, are all excellent areas to focus on, because it's all kind of consistent with energy efficiency at the county level. So, and they're all money saving. I mean, they're all things that can, if focused, will eventually save money for the county, which I think is part of what we're trying to do here at the outset, which is the low-hanging fruit. Where can we do things that are good for the environment, good for climate, and also save money? We'll win more friends that way and be able to tackle some of the more complicated issues, I think, once we've demonstrated that we can do those things.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
I've got a town board meeting to get ready for. I'd love to make a motion.
Okay, please.
I'd like to make a motion to pass the resolution as written and to approve any changes as suggested by the county attorney before sending the resolution on to the county government subcommittee.
I'll second it.
Do we have a second?
Bill, second.
Great, Bill. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye, aye.
No opposed? Passed unanimously. Thank you all. Now, I will follow up and pass this along to Patrice. I'll just pass the update in the resolution and explain the additional language. Is there anything else we need to communicate or any other channel to communicate this? Maureen, maybe you have any, are there any specifics that, I just want to make sure we cross the T's, dot the I's.
As far as I can see, it looks like you've covered everything. But I will touch base with Patrice tomorrow. We do have a transcript that we can follow. Patrice may be available to present to the county government meeting. And I'll check with her on that tomorrow as well.
Great.
That would be great.
Great. Well, I'll follow up with an email right after this with the updated resolution to Patrice and explain what we voted on as well. So she'll
Great.
have first thing tomorrow if she's left. Okay. Thank you all. It's great to see everyone, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good meeting.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, David.